meets mind, we ponder, we dream. Pixels and philosophies merge and mold. A
Back when I
future
used to work at Yahoo,
unseen.
I invented a program called the Yahoo Futurist Program, which looked out into the future. And the genesis for this program was the 10th anniversary of Yahoo. So it was around the 10th anniversary of Yahoo, and there was this beautiful flyer put together talking about the history of Yahoo. And it had pictures of people at Yahoo. It had pictures of the founders, really old pictures of the founders, how they used to sleep under their desk, the old offices they used to be in. It was really cool. Anyways, at the very end of this document, it was a pretty big document. It was huge. At the very end of it, there was a blank page. And this is the 10th year anniversary of Yahoo, so they were going, now let's write out the next 10 years. So it was a blank page for the employees of Yahoo, who were called Yahoos at the time. In fact, I think they're still called Yahoos, to write out where the future of Yahoo was going to go. So that sort of triggered the idea in me, is that let's look out into the future. Let's look out 10 years into the future. And you've seen me use this on many of my shows when I'm interviewing individuals. Let's look out 10 years into the future. In fact, and now will be the year 2034. Let's look 10 years into the future and figure out where we're going to be. Because it's far out enough to think it's fairly close, but it's not so far that it's impossible, right? And I remember when I was bringing this to leadership there, and some of the feedback I got back was that thinking about the future is very difficult. And I guess for some it is difficult, but not for me. I find it really refreshing to think about the future. And I think one of the main reasons why people get it wrong about how easy it is to think about the future is that they try to look at the past and trend the past out to the future. They look at trends of the past and they go, oh, I can see this building on top of this, on top of this, on top of this, or this thing going on this thing, and that lends to, so it's trend analysis. They look at the trends of where things are going today, and they stretch them out into the future, and they go, I think this is where we're going to go. And it's incredibly difficult to do that because of all the threads that you create, that you're pulling out into the future, the things that are happening today that you're pulling into the future. Because you don't know which threads are going to pull, which threads are going to stay. You don't know if NVIDIA is going to double, triple, quadruple in price or not. You have no idea. So it's incredibly difficult to take the threads of today and move them into the future because you don't know which thread is going to go which way. Now you might get signals. You might see signals which indicate that things are going to go in one direction or another, but you're not going to be 100% sure that things are going to go one way or another. It's not certain. And that's what makes it difficult. And that's where I think the fallacy lies. I think the fallacy lies in looking at today and trying to stretch that into the future, when the fact is that tomorrow can be completely different from today. It's kind of like when you're flipping a coin. If you flip a coin 100 times, and every time you flip that coin, it comes up heads. Assuming it's a fair coin, that's perfectly valid. It's perfectly possible that on the 101st flip, it will still come up heads, because every moment is not connected to the previous moment. And that's the same thing I can say about thinking about the future. To think about the future, you need to disconnect from the previous moment. You need to disconnect from the trends. And you need to put your mind into a future time where anything is possible. That's why I like to say, this is one of my favorite quotes that I've come up with. I mean, can somebody tell me where I can post a quote, so I can say this is my quote. But what it is everything will happen. The only question is when. So to think truly about the future, you need to disconnect yourself completely from the past, completely from the present, and come up with a scenario, a visualization, an imagining, if you will, of this future time without any connection to today. You know who does this really well? Science fiction authors. That's why I love reading far future science fiction, because far future science fiction authors have already postulated a time really far away from this. And then all we need to do is backcast closer to today to figure out where we're going to go. So I think that's one of the things that makes thinking about the future so difficult, is that we're all stuck in the web of the threads of today. And what we need to do is to disconnect ourselves from the web of the threads of today and look at the far future, disconnected from the world of today. Don't try to extend the world of today into the future, but create a brand new future, something disconnected from where we are right now. And once you've created that brand new future, disconnected from where we are right now, then you can make the decision to create that future. Because if you think about it, a lot of what we've done, a lot of what has been created is someone, somewhere in the past, envisioning that future. And then someone, somewhere, maybe the same person, maybe not the same person, taking that idea and running with it and turning it into something real. And that is how we think about the future, and that is how we create the future. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.
Pixels and philosophies merge and mold, a future untold, unseen.